What is your profession?
So here we have 2,000 points of Dark Angels. Absolutely beautifully painted. Okay, Mark, take us through what you've got today.
Okay, so we're starting off with Belial. We've got a Terminator with Librarian. We've got a squad of Deathwing Knights.
Awesome.
Behind that, we've got a close combat assault Deathwing squad with a mixture of Thunderhammers
it's
and
all
Lightning
WYSIWYG,
Claws.
is it?
Sorry?
It's all WYSIWYG, is it?
Yeah, all WYSIWYG.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then behind that, we've got a tactical squad with plasma gun, plasma cannon, and the sergeant has a plasma pistol.
Excellent. Are these the old Dark Vengeance tactical?
They are the Dark
Excellent.
Vengeance ones.
Classic models.
Classic models. Then at the back there, you've got a squad of intercessors, just all armed with bolt rifles.
Is that one big squad?
It's split into two actually. That's two squads.
Excellent.
5.
No, that's perfect.
And then we've got one big squad of Deathwing Terminators,
Awesome.
2 assault cannons. Everything else is storm bolters and a mixture of chain fists and power fists.
Oh, nice chain fists. I use those on my Black Temper Terminators. They're very good.
We've got the classic Land Raider with the 2 twin las cannons, the twin heavy bolter, and also a storm bolter on the front.
And have you got this guy as well?
Yeah, so that's a lieutenant with jump pack armed with the Mace of Redemption and a master-crafted storm bolter, bolt gun rather.
Excellent. So that's a nice compact elite Deathwing army. I don't think we've ever had Deathwing on the channel before, so it's going to be absolutely amazing to see what they can do. Let's see what they're up against today. So here we have 2,000 points of Redacted. Can't tell you, it's Inquisition. No, I guess I have to give you the army details, guys, don't I? So yeah, this is the new army. I was talking about the secret army. Some of you did guess it in the comments. I did give you a few hints. People were saying some pretty crazy things, but a couple of people did actually get it right with Grey Knights. It's actually sort of an Ordo Malleus list, so it's a mixture of Grey Knights and Stormtroopers. I haven't brought my Inquisitor today. He isn't painted up yet. But starting off over here, we've got 2 detachments. We've got the Elite one, which is the Vanguard detachment. We've got 3 squads of Paladins. These are almost WYSIWYG. Basically, they've all 4 of them have got halberds, and the sergeant has got a hammer, and they've just got storm bolters. Any silencers that you see in here today, guys, they're not actually part of the unit. We've got 3 squads of that, 4 halberds, 1 hammer, and then we've got a regular old Grandmaster, and he's got the Nemesis Warning Staff and a storm bolter. So in close combat, he should have a 3+ save, which is pretty nice. 3+ invulnerable save. Then we've got a battalion. And it is 6 squads of Scions, 3 with double melter, 3 with double plasma, 2 Tempesta Primes, 3 Torxes with the Gatling guns and the volley guns, and then we've got a Valkyrie, and the Valkyrie has 2 heavy bolters, 2 multiple rocket pods, and a multi-laser. I've not used a Valkyrie yet in 8th edition, so this is going to be quite interesting. So there we go, guys. 2,000 points is 2,000 points. Definitely an elite off. Lots of Terminators on the field. I don't think anyone ever in 8th edition has fielded this many Terminators between 2 armies. So let's see who is superior, the Deathwing or the Inquisition. So here we have the Warlords and Psychers and Relic Bearers for the armies. Okay, Mark, do you want to go through what you have today?
Yep, so my Warlord today is the Terminator in Librarian in Terminator armour.
Okay.
And he's running a stratagem that allows a command point to be returned on a 5+ following the use of a stratagem.
Excellent.
And then the Lieutenant today is running with the Mace of Redemption Relic, which is basically a power maul with strength +3, AP -3 and D3 damage.
Wow.
And would allow rerolls for failed wound rolls against Heretic Astartes, but don't think we're playing any of those today.
I think you're the Heretic Astartes today, actually.
Right, reroll against myself.
And your psychic powers today?
So we've got Smite, we've got Righteous Repugnance, which allows a friendly Dark Angels unit within 12 inches to reroll all failed hit rolls and wound rolls made in the unit's melee weapons. And then Engulfing Fear, which is next psychic phase, the opponent must roll 2 dice and discard the lowest result when taking morale tests for any unit that was in 6 inches.
Excellent, there we go. And for those of you that can hear the crash bang wallop in the background, that is Commissar Kylo, who is presently trying to destroy one of my cardboard boxes. So today the Inquisitorial forces will be running this Tempesta Prime as our Warlord. He's going to have the... and he'll also be the Relic Bearer. He's going to have the relic, the auto reliquary of Tiberius. On a 2+, he can issue an extra order. And his Warlord trait is going to be Grand Strategist. Basically on a 5+, he can get command points back. Psychic powers, just to keep it easy, obviously each one of these Paladin squads can have a psychic power, and so can the Grandmaster can have 2. So essentially the guys at the back with the helmets on, they're both going to have Gate of Infinity. And the guy without the helmet is going to have Sanctuary, and the Grandmaster is going to know Sanctuary and Hammer Hand. So there we go, just keep it easy. Helmets have got Gate, and the other 2 have got their powers. Excellent. So there we go, lots of Psychic on the board today. Let's see the field of battle after deployment and with the mission as well. So here we go, field of battle after deployment. We've got a lone Torx Prime over here with the Tempesta and a Plasma squad in it. And then over here we have a pretty brutal, fast-moving castle of Torx Primes and Valkyries. Lots of squads loaded up inside those vehicles. Okay, going over to the Dark Angels. We have a nice spread out deployment. They've done this to obviously try and deny the Grey Knights just coming in and just rolling up a flank. So we've got the Intercessors over here, Plasma Squad in the centre, absolute anchor of a Land Raider here, and then some more Intercessors here. And there's lots of units in reserve on both sides. Deathwing for the Dark Angels, Paladins for the Inquisition forces. Mission today is Tactical Escalation. We're doing Maelstrom. Basically what it is on turn 1 you draw 1 card, turn 2 you draw 2 cards, turn 3 you draw 3, so on and so forth. Objectives are spread out pretty evenly across the table. We've got 3 on this side and 1 over here and then 2 more. So there we go, lots of deep striking, lots of psychic, both armies very elite. It's going to make for a rapid fire game hopefully. Currently, the Inquisitor forces have turn 1, but do the Dark Angels wish to seize the initiative?
Yes, I do.
Okay, excellent. Let's see what they can do. Look for that 6. It is a, what do you call it? A denomination of 6, isn't it? But it's not quite.
It's good, but not good enough.
So, let's see the game after Inquisitorial forces turn 1. So, the Scions drew Domination, which wasn't going to happen turn 1 to be honest, and probably won't happen with this army, so that was a bit disappointing. So we're going to discard that at the end of our turn. But in regards to what we were able to do, we aggressively pushed forward with all the assets here, and everything that could fired into that 5-man Intercessor squad, and it did come down to the last wound from the multiple rocket pods from the Valkyrie, which I was pleasantly surprised to learn were assault, not heavy, which was nice. And we were able to just kill them, so we have managed to get first blood, but we have not done well on the tactical objectives, so we're discarding that. And let's see what the Dark Angels can do in response to this pretty aggressive Inquisitorial push. So a pretty good Dark Angels turn there. They started off with the Land Raider aggressively moving up here and then firing its las cannons into the Valkyrie, doing 5 damage. A cheeky plasma cannon shot did another damage, and then this guy jumped up here. We put him on top of here just for cinematic purposes. He's trying to break a wing off. He was able to do another 3 damage to it with his mace, which is pretty good. That thing does D3 damage, AP -3. Not too shabby. I think, did he throw a crack grenade up here as well?
Yeah, crack grenade.
Crack grenade went on this Torx and did 3 damage. This thing from the Storm Bolters and Heavy Bolters and Bolt Guns has taken 2 damage. And then in terms of objectives, the Dark Angels got Defend Objective 5, and thanks to their more spread out deployment, we're able to get a squad of Intercessors on there, which will be tough for the Inquisition forces to deal with. So, both armies are moving aggressively towards each other. Let's see what the Grey Knights can do now that they are allowed to deep strike anywhere they want, thanks to the FAQ. So not a bad Scion Inquisitorial turn. The Valkyrie flew off over there and was able to strafe down a couple of tactical marines over there. That meant that this lieutenant was kind of exposed, and he was just obliterated by one of the melter guns from here. Didn't even need to. The second one, one of them just straight up hit him, wounded him. He didn't get a save, and I got a 5 and a 4, so he just got squished. Which is pretty unfortunate. We were kind of hoping that Mace of Redemption would seriously redeem some more Scions, but was not to be, unfortunately. Over here, we plasmered and dackered and dackered and dackered. Absolutely poured loads of shots into this Land Raider. The occupants inside must have thought it was hailstoning thanks to the 60 Punisher Gatling cannon shots. After the dust had cleared and the sparks had stopped flying, it had taken 8 wounds from Dacker and Plasma. So it's half dead, but it's still very much alive. This Dorks primed them, charged in, neither side doing any damage to each other. He did take 3 wounds on Overwatch from the las cannons, but neither side doing any damage in combat. But that Land Raider has been locked up, so the Dark Angels inside of that are probably going to get out and tear him to pieces. And then over here, we brought in some of our reserves, just a couple of squads of Paladins. Now, the Primaris Marines that were here were able to do a wound with Allspec Scam, but then this unit was able to charge in. This unit failed their charge, and I did use a command point. I should roll to see if I get that back, actually. Nope, don't get that command point back. This unit failed the charge in with a reroll. This unit got exactly what they needed. They charged in, and the halberds killed... 2 were killed from shooting, 2 were killed by the halberds, the sergeant was left standing, and then the Justicar with his hammer just bonked him on the top of the head and killed him. So we stopped the Dark Angels from defending Objective 5, and we have, in terms of our own objective, begun scoring Defend Objective 4, and we have managed to get troops on the ground because we're currently holding this objective, and this objective. That is an infantry unit, and troops on the ground just says you need to hold 3 to 5 objective markers with infantry units, so I think we're perfectly okay to score that. And it is D3 points. Let's see what we get. 1 victory point. So, not great, but let's see what the Dark Angels can do in response. So just got a bit of an epic moment here. I've only experienced this once before, and it was by Mark. Here's Deathwing assaulting. So those Deathwing Terminators are coming in. They're splitting fire, half on this Taurox, half on that Taurox. They're all in rapid fire range. We've got 4 Storm Bolters and an Assault Cannon going into each unit. So here we go.
So taking out R2s, and actually Belial is sat behind him, so they get to re-roll.
Is re-roll all hits? Is it?
All hits for Deathwing. They get to re-roll.
Very good, very good.
Everything,
oh my god.
Is
For those of you that don't understand, Deathwing Assault is done when you come in, so these guys will be able to shoot again in their shooting phase.
So what toughness are we on?
You toughness 6, so you'll need 5s.
5s.
That's looking pretty powerful.
So there you are, you got
pop
2,
those in my hand.
4, 6, 7.
Okay, I'm doing this left-handed, so I imagine that I will not roll very well. Oh, that's not too bad actually. I just dropped 1. any AP on this?
No, they're just on.
Okay, so take 1 wound so far. So that was pretty lucky by me, to be honest. But now the assault cannon, I guess.
Right, the assault cannon, which is
6 shots, I think.
6 shots, yeah.
Now, does it count as moving when you've dropped?
It does, yeah. So it's
4s.
4s, rerolling 1s and 2s for the Belial.
Yeah. Perfect. That's exactly what you wanted. Excellent. Gets another one. Now this is only 4s to wound.
Yeah, because it's.
I moved up to 6. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. That's 2 wounds. AP -1. I made both of them.
There you go.
Oh no.
So that's 1 half.
That's 1 half. Let's do the other half. Come on.
The other side. So Stormbolt shots again. So again, 16.
Come on. I want these Deathwing to do well.
Right. So rerolling 2s and 1s.
Yes. Oh, only drops 2. And 5s again. That's looking pretty good.
5s, wasn't it?
Yeah.
There you are. 3 to make.
Okay. Drop another one over here. So that Torx has taken an extra wound. That one's taken a wound as well. So now the assault cannon.
Assault cannon.
Reroll those fails. Gets an extra 1. Looking for 4s. Ah.
Just the 1.
These Deathwing, I think they need to spend more time in the practice chamber.
They do indeed.
Oh, but at least it goes through. So that Torx in total has taken 5 wounds now, and that one's just had 1 chipped off of it. So that's pretty cool, showcasing that ability. We'll come back to you at the end of the Dark Angel's turn. Wow, what an absolutely brutal Dark Angel's turn. So in the shooting phase, these Deathwing picked up their act a little bit and brought this guy down to 6 wounds, and this one only had 3 wounds left. And then when they assaulted in, they were able to easily destroy this one. And over here, the Chain Fist really struggled, actually. Only 1 wound was able to be... it was only 2 or 3, wasn't it? But either way, they didn't do what they should have done. And that Torx was left on 1 wound alive. And they didn't consolidate into these guards. Because there was no point, really. Because the guardsmen can just fall back, and then I can use an order to get them back in the fight. Over here, this Torx was very easily destroyed. These Terminators got out, and the Lightning Claws didn't even have to swing. Just a ridiculous amount of Thunderhammer smashed in and just destroyed it. Neither Torx exploded. And then over here, a little bit of disappointment. The Deathwing Knights came in, and they did get their ability to re-roll lots of I think it's hits and wounds in there.
Hits and wounds.
They get. Does that last until your next psychic phase?
I believe so. Yeah.
So they're still. Yeah. So they're still able to re-roll hits and wounds if I want to charge them. But so that is pretty nasty. But they didn't get their charge off even with a re-roll. And all the Deathwing have used all their command points now as well. So. Last thing of note to say is some pretty good plasma action from over here was able to reduce this Valkyrie down to just 3 wounds left. So it's smoking and spitting. The other Taurox is pretty badly damaged. But the Deathwing have committed all their assets. The Inquisition forces are going to have to deploy the last of their paladins to try and contain these heretical Dark Angels. Let's see what the Inquisitor can do in response. So, a pretty brutal Inquisition turn. Not going to lie here, the Dark Angels are in dire straits. Over here, between Daka and Chopper, we were able to kill all the Deathwing Knights. Really unlucky on those 2-up, 3-up saves. I mean, it was like he was rolling 5-ups. It was just really, really unlucky, I will be honest. In return, the Librarian wasn't able to do any damage back. Coming over here, no damage was able to be done to these Deathwing, but this tactical squad was killed by a surgical strike from these Scions. And the Deathwing Knights, not Deathwing Knights, just Deathwing Terminators were reduced to just 2 guys. But they don't take morale checks because they're Deathwing. They're just hard as nails. In an attempt to try and finish them off, maybe a bit foolishly, I charged all my remaining Scions in on them and was unable to do any damage. And in return, they were able to Power Fist 2 from this squad to death and Overwatch 2 from this squad to death. So Deathwing are just going to be sat there backhanding Scions for a while. And yeah, they've only got a few assets left on the table, but they have to make them count. Let's see what they can do going into their turn 3. Oh, little addendum. I should have said I've started defending these 2 objectives. So pretty good turn by the Dark Angels there. Down but not out. Over here, they're able to butcher the majority of these Scions. They've made them fair leadership checks. They're able to get a point for psychological warfare. They butchered these Scions. To be honest, pretty much all the Scions are dead. They were able to kill 2 Paladins over here before the Librarian was Thunderhammered to death, or Nemesis Demon Hammered. And the Land Raider came over here and poured everything into this unit so that they just absolutely got destroyed. And that meant he stopped me from defending Objective 1. But I was able to get 2 points defending Objective 2. They were able to get Psychological Warfare. And that is it for now. So, do you want to discard any of your objectives, either Score 5 or Mission Critical 5?
Yeah, I'll take those off.
Okay, no worries. So I'm gonna discard Defend Objective 1. I just don't think I'll be able to do it with that Land Raider just playing around. So let's see. We're probably gonna have one more turn, is it? We're gonna see how much time we've got.
One more Death and Glory turn.
Let's see what the Inquisitor forces and the Dark Angels can do. So a bit of a lightning Grey Knight's turn, basically. These guys that were here, Gate of Infinitied over and then charged in. I was trying to get Blood and Guts, kind of whiffed. Only killed a couple and did a wound. And then in return, they just butchered down 3 of my Grey Knights. Not good. These guys just hung around to get Line Breaker. They moved on into some cover. They were able to do quite a bit of damage to that Land Raider. It's only got 2 wounds left overall. But over here, I decided to stay in combat because I thought if I can just hang on, just one guy needs to hang on, then it denies him to be able to move in his turn. It didn't work. He butchered them. It came down to the last dice, and he just butchered all of them. So it's not a lot left for either side. Let's see if the Dark Angels can reap some bloody revenge. What an absolute resurgence from the Dark Angels. The cards that they drew were just perfect. Secure Objective 4, which they were able to score with those Terminators. Secure Objective 3, which they were able to score with Belial. By the way, Belial just blew up the Torx Prime. They gunned down the Warlord there. So that meant they got another one for Warlord, another one for Linebreaker. Area Denial, they got another point, not one step backwards. Well, they couldn't fail that one, so they got another point there. And they got Psychological Warfare previously, which puts them on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, some of you may be thinking, hang on, aren't they going to get Linebreaker? Well, the thing is they struck over here, but this guy was left on 1 wound. And I used my last 3 command points to fight him again. So he fought twice with his Thunderhammer, so 6 attacks. He was able to kill them, which meant that they no longer were getting Linebreaker, and that means that the Inquisition got 1 2 points, 3 4 points, 5 points, plus 1 for First Blood, 6, plus 1 for Linebreaker, 7, and plus 1 for Slay the Warlord from the Librarian, so 8. So it's 7 8. Now, because we only had time for 4 turns, we are going to have to end the game here, guys. Unfortunately, I drew my cards, and the only one I would have been able to get is that one, Objective 6. And the Dark Angels drew 2, and they were able to score 2 of theirs, 2 1-pointers. I can't remember what they were now. It was like a secure objective, and it was Killer Unit, wasn't it?
Killer Unit, yeah.
Yeah, so they would have been able to get 2. There's no way that I could have stopped them from getting those 2, so it would have been 9-9. So what we're going to do is we're going to call it a draw here, guys, because that's what the cards would have been. But what an absolutely fantastic game. Until turn 3, the Dark Angels were on 1 point. 1 point. In 1 turn, they absolutely massive resurgence. And just did it absolutely fantastically. So overall, that's a draw. Hope you guys have enjoyed this battle report, and we'll see you guys next time.